Worship Tutorials Live, as we had an audio blip there. You're hanging out with Brian and Bryce today.
Hello.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Sorry we're a few minutes late. When I have this laptop right here, I'm controlling the stream. When I went to go start the stream, literally the computer had the blue screen of death, equivalent for the Mac, which is a black screen of death with a little power icon that says your computer has shut down.
Or as I like to say, we went to press play on the live stream and the computer said, not today.
No.
But then it was like, okay, today.
But now we've restarted and we're all good. So, hey, if you're watching this, in the comments below, say hey, give us your name or something. Tell us where you're from. We'd like to get to know you a little bit. We can monitor the comments down here. A couple things about YouTube Live is that if you're watching this down the road, the live chat that's going on does not retain after the live show. So if you watch it as a video, you don't see the chat. So what we're gonna do when we do some Q&A stuff, we'll probably have to repeat the question or speak the question out just so down the road you know what the question is. And for the format today, we're gonna go. We've got how many tips do we have? 5.
5 tips, pro tips.
5 pro tips. Bryce and I both get paid to do this. So
I mean,
technically makes us professionals.
yeah, it's loosely,
Right. We got 5 pro tips for beginner worship leaders, any worship leader, really, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We're going to preview for you a brand new video that Bryce and I made. We just finished it up today, our cover of There Is a Cloud. See a lot of comments coming in, and Bryce and I might play a few things on the guitar, maybe take a request or two, who knows, we'll see where we go. And then we're going to do some Q&A after that. So let us know, since this is episode 1 of the Worship Tutorials live show, which happens on Fridays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, let us know how the audio sounds, how the video looks on your end. If it looks good, if we need to make any changes, we can on the fly a little bit, right?
A little bit on the fly.
So let's hop into it. If you have any questions related specifically to what we're talking about for tips for worship leaders who are just getting started, let us know those, and we'll kind of monitor. And if we see some really good questions, we'll hit them later on in the Q&A time. So, tip number 1. And we see where you guys are from South Africa, from California, from
Dallas,
Bronx,
Texas,
Los Angeles, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. New York, UK.
Dublin.
Dublin, very cool. Thanks for hanging out with us all
Welcome.
today, guys. All right, tip number 1, if you are just starting out as a worship leader, or maybe if you've done it 20 years or 30, tip number 1 is this. Your ability to lead your team and build a team, whether it's a volunteer team or if you happen to be at a church where you pay volunteers or pay musicians to play, your ability to lead that team and build it well is far more important than your skill as a musician and your level of talent.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Most people think that being a worship leader is about how well you sing and play your instrument. That while that is important, we're not trying to take away from the fact that
you gotta be good.
Your ability, you need to meet the bar that the people who hire you have set for you.
Yep.
But beyond that, you've already fulfilled that role. Like they said, you're good enough at that. Now do this. Build your team.
And it's by far the hardest thing. If you think playing like an Israel Houghton song is hard, did I say his name right?
It's Houghton.
Houghton.
Yeah, Houghton.
Israel Houghton.
Yeah.
I'm no Einstein, Bryce. Your ability
it's all relative.
Yes, very nice. Your ability to lead your team is so important, and it's really, really hard to do, to build a great team.
Yeah.
It's probably the most important and maybe the most difficult thing you're going to do as a worship leader. But you're only as good as the team that you build.
You're always going to be limited by your team. And I mean, I always think it, makes the most sense when I say it this way is like, if I left tomorrow, what happens next Sunday?
Right.
Is there a team in place that can lead without me?
Yeah. If you get hit by the bus, as Pastor Benji
by the
always
proverbial bus,
whether literal or figurative.
What happens when you're gone? So building a team around you that
can lead in your absence.
That can lead in your absence is huge, and that is hard, and it definitely takes time, but it's worth it every time. So.
Yeah, and just a few things about teams before we go on. We don't want this video to take forever. But we have, at our church, we lead worship at New Hope Church, and we lead at different campuses. So Bryce is at our Hillsborough campus. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Yeah.
Used to be. Bryce has been at many different campuses.
Like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man.
I've been everywhere, man. That was a little extra. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll sing that later.
Maybe you'll sing that later.
Yeah.
You sing deeper than I do.
I've been everywhere, man. All right. So at our campuses at our church, we have we shoot for 4 full teams that can, and this is musicians, so on stage and behind and backstage. So
production volunteers as well,
and musicians, vocalists, instrumentalists, that kind of thing. We shoot for 4 separate teams so that we can rotate 1 week a month.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to get there.
Yeah, that's the long-term goal. Obviously, that can flex. So currently, even at the Hillsborough campus where I currently serve, we are on a 4-week rotation, teams A, B, C, and D, not by letter grade. That's just assigned to the first, second, third, and fourth week of the month. And then the months that have 5 weeks, we call that week E, team E. Some people want to serve more than once a month, so they might be on team A and team C, every other week. So when we say 4 full teams, it doesn't necessarily mean 4 completely different teams with people who never served together.
Yeah.
It just means that we want to have 4 fully, staffed teams.
Yeah, and so don't schedule the same person every single week.
Yeah.
You won't have that person very long if they're a volunteer. They're going to get burned out. So that's important. Okay, number 2, your relationship with your senior pastor is paramount. It's extremely important. And you need to fight to protect it at all costs. And Bryce and I were talking about something that we talk about a lot at New Hope Church. It's part of our staff covenant. And that is how if we have a dispute with somebody on staff, or like if you as a worship leader have an issue with something your senior pastor has done or asked you to do, this is what we do. Yeah,
so we always say if you're questioned about something in public, you always defend publicly.
Always.
But if you have a dispute, over something that was said or done or you were asked to say or do, you dispute that privately, face-to-face with that person, your senior pastor or anyone else. You always defend publicly and dispute privately.
Yeah.
And that's not about being fake. That's just about honoring God's church and honoring that person and yourself.
Yeah. So let's be real and transparent here. A lot of worship pastors, especially in churches where the church is maybe more traditional, and the pastor will bring in a young worship leader to try and make it more relevant, contemporary. Maybe they want to go in a more contemporary direction, whatever. I've been there before as a staff person. A lot of times you'll have a senior pastor who's maybe more traditional, and maybe a worship leader who's more contemporary, for lack of a better word, and they butt heads a lot, and it's so easy to gossip, and it's so easy to find friends in your congregation, whether they're on your team or they're even family members. It's so easy. Gossip is the right word to talk about your senior pastor or other leadership in a negative way, complain about them. And if you do that, you need to cut it out.
Just stop
right now. You need to stop. And if you see it happening, you need to call it out, and you need to tell people to stop. Because the reality is, when that starts to happen in your church, and I think that happens all the time, the reality is Satan is going to use that to drive division into your church. You are allowing the enemy to gain a foothold in your church by doing that. And there's really no way to sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
You're helping Satan out.
Yeah, whenever somebody, it just reminds me of many conversations I've had. Whenever somebody has come to me and tried to complain about someone else, something that they've said or they've done, it could be anybody. One of my favorite responses is to say, sounds like you need to have a conversation with that person and stop talking to me.
Or you say, why don't you and I go get them?
Yeah.
And bring them in. Like if it's about your senior pastor and someone comes to you and complains and your senior pastor's in the room, what I like to say is, well, he's right over here.
Yeah, let's go talk.
I'll go get him, and you can tell it to his face. And if you or that person is not willing to do that, then you just need to shut your mouth. Straight up. And not do it.
not to derail that subject at all, but it reminds me of...
I get pretty passionate about it.
Yeah. We have Connect cards that everyone fills out each and every Sunday. Well, we ask them to fill them out. It's just a way for, them to connect with us and for us to do the same with them. And on the back, there's a comment section. Yeah. And it's always funny when we get comments about things that people don't like. There's never a name on those cards. Yeah. And it's one of those things like everyone's a tough guy when they're anonymous. Yeah. It takes a lot of guts to put your name on something, on criticism. And so, you know what we do with Connect cards with comments on them without a name on them? We
throw them in the
up
trash.
And throw them in the trash.
That's where they go.
Yeah, because if you don't care enough to put your name on it, I don't care enough to have a conversation with you. Yeah.
But this is seriously
it's a big deal.
It is a very, very important thing. Mm-hmm. I actually, our worship arts director, Pastor Fuller, who hopefully we'll have him on a future live episode, but he's our boss, basically. So Fuller has a talk that he's given that I've heard that is excellent, and it's called Your Most Important Relationship. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how your relationship with your senior pastor is your most important relationship, which actually brings up a point that I'd like to make about this. You might be saying to us, screaming at your computer right now or your phone or whatever, right, and rightly so, your relationship with Jesus is your most important relationship, mm-hmm. and that is absolutely true. So that's actually not one of our 5 points. Yeah. And I think it goes without saying, though, that your spiritual life, your spiritual relationship, your relationship with God the Father, mm-hmm. with Jesus, your Savior, has to be the most important thing in your life. And I don't think you would feel called to ministry if it weren't.
Correct, yeah.
So, but keep that in mind. That supersedes all of it. This is just like
in a staff relationship.
Yeah.
In a staff relationship, if you're either on staff or a volunteer at your church, that relationship is, that's the most important relationship.
It is the most important. You've got to be each other's greatest ally. Yeah. Because the enemy is going to come after you.
Yeah, and I would say it this way: if you are a staff worship leader, your relationship with your senior pastor is the most important. If you're a volunteer worship team member, your relationship with your worship pastor is then your most important relationship.
If you're a volunteer on a team.
If you're a volunteer on a team, it's just that person that, leads you. You have to let them lead you, and you submit to them, and in that relationship, it just becomes healthier.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on.
Moving on.
So first one was what? Building teams is more important than your talent.
Yeah.
2 is your relationship with your senior pastor is paramount. 3.
People are more important.
People are more important.
Period.
Then what? Then what, you might say?
Fill in the blank.
Everything. People are more important.
Yeah, we came up with a fancy alliteration for those of you who like alliteration.
Hit the good people.
It made me happy. People are more important than policy, politics, or perfection.
Yes. I misspelled perfection.
I saw that.
I put 2 T's in it.
Yeah, it was, That's almost ironic.
Yes.
Misspelled perfection.
I misspelled the word perfection.
Oh.
Which just
because it's not as important
human I am
as people.
Yes. Yeah. I think in our case, one thing, and Bryce and I did we mention earlier about our team building video?
I don't think so. We mentioned.
Bryce and I actually made a video, that's been a while back, mm-hmm. about how to build teams, just from our experience in our church building teams. But one thing we talked about in that video a lot is it's easy to start seeing people for what they bring to your team. Like, you see this person as a guitar player. That's nice. A little background music. You see this person as a guitar player and you think, I need a guitar player. And so you start seeing them only for what they bring to your team and not as a person that you are pastoring as a worship pastor. So I think it's easy to put things above people. And you should never, ever do that.
Absolutely. Yeah. You wouldn't have a church if it wasn't for people. Yeah. Like, you would just be singing songs in a room by yourself.
And you wouldn't be leading worship like you do without a team of volunteers to do it.
Absolutely.
So never let policy, politics, or perfection outweigh people or come before people. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about how important it is to build relationships.
Yeah, so with your congregation. I always tell, and I've been really leading my teams to do this. I always share so we have rehearsals every Thursday night, and then we do a Sunday morning run through. And I'm trying my best to cast this vision all the time that I will honor our time and our rehearsal time as best as I possibly can so that we can be done as soon as possible so that everyone on our team can go and meet one person on Sunday morning. Just go and meet one person, one new person.
Yeah.
Have a 2-minute conversation with them. Grab them a cup of coffee if they don't have one yet. Because you can't lead people if you don't know them. And Brian said earlier when we were talking about this, he said, and they won't let you.
Yes.
People won't let you lead them. Some people might, but a lot of people, like, we come together. The point of church, I might step on some toes here. I think that, like, a main point of church, even more than hearing a sermon or singing songs together, but a main point of the church is the community, is knowing people and being known by people. Yeah. Like, you know, that's the point of God coming down, apart from saving us from our sins, was that communion with us. Yeah. Community. And so he didn't come just to preach a sermon, and he certainly didn't come singing songs. No. I'm not trying to disrespect or even my job. I mean, it's my job. I'm a worship pastor, so that's what I do. But even before that, it's about the people. Again, don't let your performance, even there's another P in there in the alliteration. Don't let what you do outweigh the people. Right. Your most important priority should be getting to know your congregation. Yep. Yeah. All right. I don't want to beat a dead horse. It's really important to do it.
It is very important.
And it's fun.
Yeah. So let's move on. The next one is, Bryce came up with this one. Every Sunday is the Super Bowl.
No big deal.
No big deal. Every Sunday is the Super Bowl.
That's right.
I like to think about it this way. Whether you're, if you step out onto the platform to lead worship and there are like 12 people in the room, that can be very discouraging. But you have to approach that like you're in an arena recording a live album or something. The level of excellence with which you have to approach every single opportunity to lead worship has to be as high as you possibly can. There's never, ever, ever an excuse for you not to be prepared.
Yeah, it's like a personal. You have to be personally motivated. Yeah. By that, are you because what I'm getting at is, are you motivated by the number of people in a room, or are you motivated, personally to bring your best? Because at the end of the day, it's about honoring God with your best. Yeah. It's not about because there's a packed house this morning. Yeah. I'm going to bring my best.
And that'll help with energy and that kind of thing. But and it's not so, we don't say this either so that you can say, I've done a great job. Look how good I am at singing, leading worship, whatever. We say this because this is what God commands of us in the Bible. Do everything as though you're doing it unto me. And I think that if I'm going to do something as a way to present it to God, why would I wing it? Why would I not do my absolute best? So I would just encourage you, especially if you're discouraged, especially if every Sunday you show up and there are 30 people in the room. And I've been there. I led worship in a church for years that was like 35 people showed up every Sunday. And that's where I developed pads. That in that church, I wanted something to make it sound bigger, so I made the first set of pads there.
Brian Wall, the innovator.
That's right. Because I wanted it to be as excellent as I possibly could. And we had like 3 musicians in that church. And I wanted to bring something to the table that enhanced what we did and made it more excellent. So I, developed something that we use. All right? Okay, so last one. This is one that Bryce and I wholeheartedly agree with.
I mean,
and adhere to.
You could almost say that. Word religiously. We've said that others are the most important. This one might actually be.
This could be the whole reason you tuned in today.
Yeah.
Ready? Here, go for it.
Check your fly.
Twice or 3 times. Again. Yeah. Every time.
One of my favorite phrases is this: trust, but confirm. I trust myself that I zipped my fly. But I'm going to confirm it.
Can I provide a visual illustration for us here?
Please.
This is what if you're a guitar player.
Oh my goodness.
My head went out of the screen, but like this is where your guitar is. Just right under here. Flies up. Did you guys see that? Just checked.
It's getting real on worship tutorials.
That's how you can get it done there.
Yeah, trust.
You don't have to let people know. You can do it on stage if you want to. Just slip the hand under.
Wow.
Check the fly. Because believe me, you don't want to be in front of a group of people with the barn doors open.
I'm not going to share every detail of this story, but when I was in high school, I was a senior in high school, and I was at my home church, and I'm from a small town in northern Indiana.
Yes.
And we used to put on like big Christmas productions, and with like sometimes we'd have livestock, the whole shebang on stage and all that kind of stuff, and we'd have acts and stuff like that.
We could go on with stories.
Listen, man. Yeah, I know you have more stories than I do, but
no, I don't know.
There's a guy still goes to that church. He will remain nameless, and he's been in the church for years, and he was in the production every single year. And they got up on stage for this number. Yeah. And the barn doors were flung wide, and the glory shone upon all the people's faces. In the middle, and if I'm lying, I'm dying. He's up there dancing around. And dude, like, I don't know how you don't notice. Like, it got chilly or something, but like, somebody noticed and literally like tackled him like off the stage and was like, holy cow.
Close your fly.
We just
zip it.
Scarred like 1,000 people. Men, women, and children. Yeah, that was fun times.
Dark Shadow says they always wear joggers, so you never have to check.
I'm currently wearing joggers, and I appreciate that.
That's smart.
It's the only pair of joggers I own, so I resemble that remark.
All right. Okay, so those are our five
points.
tips. 1, build teams. It's your most important thing you do, and it's way more important than how talented you are.
Yep.
2, your relationship with your senior pastor.
Paramount.
Is paramount. You got to protect it. What was 3? People are more important.
People are more important.
It's off the screen.
Yeah. Number 3 is people are more important than fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Anything. Number 4 is every Sunday is the Super Bowl, so bring your A game. The only caveat to that is if you're Peyton Manning, because if you're Peyton Manning, you can, play like a high school third stringer and still manage to win the Super Bowl because he's Peyton Manning. And number 5, check your fly.
Check your fly. Do it just like I just showed you how. It'll never treat you. You'll never go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Make sure though, if you've got seating that sort of wraps around your stage, like make sure people can't, on the side see into what you're doing.
I mean, it's just
you can hide it.
There are ways.
All right, we've talked enough about flies. All right, so hey, Bryce and I just finished recording a acoustic arrangement. Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually not really acoustic.
I think you
pretty much a full band.
You originally. Wow, it's been a long week.
Originally,
you originally dreamed it to be, I think, an acoustic arrangement.
I did.
And then you called me and said, "Hey."
I said, "Bryce, will you collaborate with me?"
Yeah, collaborate. And then it's not acoustic anymore.
We took it in a different direction. So it's gonna go up on the channel probably Monday. This video, but we're gonna give you guys a sneak peek. I haven't put like the chord diagrams and the lyrics on it yet, so you're just gonna see. Excuse me. We just had Mexican food like
a lot
not that long ago, and so I had a quesadilla.
Wow, Brian. Man, yes, you did.
It smells like guacamole.
It smells like guacamole.
All right, so it's going off the rails.
It's okay.
All right, so
but we're gonna give you a sneak peek at this
video. What you get with a live show. So here's the video. We're gonna let you guys see it. I'm gonna try and be as smooth as possible. Check this out.
Heavy with blessing, lift your eyes, offer your heart. Jesus Christ, open the heavens. Now we receive the Spirit of God. We receive your rain. We receive your rain. Every seed buried inside anticipation. We await the promise to come. Everything that you have spoken will come to pass. Let it be done.
What'd you think? Did you like it? We had some questions that we found that we're gonna answer. Mm-hmm. One was just Jessica Rife, something like that. Rife asked, "How many takes does it take us to get a video like that? And do we record the audio ahead of time or is it live?" So to pull back the curtain a little bit to Worst Tutorials videos, I used to do everything live, one take live videos.
No pressure.
Yeah. So I don't do it that way anymore. What I typically do these days is record the audio ahead of time and then record the video after.
Playing back to it live.
Right. And it's not because I don't feel comfortable doing a one-take thing, because I literally have done hundreds of them. But it's because the audio is quiet. Are you saying the speaking audio is quiet compared to like what we just did? Probably.
Yeah. But back to your point, I think
it's kind of difficult to match that in a live environment. Anyway, if you can hear us okay, then we're just going to keep going. But we pre-record it so that we can record video takes with multiple shots.
Yeah. So that, and I would say the overall quality is better.
It is, because you can record the acoustic guitar with a microphone separately
from the vocal
versus being plugged in, and you can record the vocal isolated without guitar bleed in it and that kind of stuff. So it does make for a better product. Video is an ear ringer. They say, "Oh, the video was real loud." I can tweak our setup here. That's the only video we're gonna pre-recorded video. So, in addition to that question, American Looper says, "Do I have camera people that move the camera?" Yeah, Nick. If I'm in the video and the camera's moving, then it's Nick moving the camera. He's a really
very talented
video guy. If anyone else, like Bryce just now, I was doing the filming. So, and if the video doesn't move, it's on a tripod. Basically, how it works. Yep. And how many takes does it take us?
It depends. It depends. Like this comes back to preparation as well. Coming and knowing the song already, knowing the parts you're going to play for for the most part. We were able to get all of those takes. So it's different. So Brian likes to record multiple angles, not all at once. So I'll play through like the guitar parts. I played through the whole song 3 times today.
Yeah, so I knew I wanted an angle with the camera looking this way. I knew I wanted an angle with the camera looking this way, and then I knew I wanted kind of a straight on. So we did 3 takes.
Yeah, and
I held the camera in those 3 positions.
And I just played it straight through, so it only took us 3 takes.
And I'll say Bryce nailed it all 3 times. Yeah. And typically when Nick and I film a video, I like to get 5 takes. I like to get sort of a static shot where you can see all of me coming from the front. I like to get a tight shot from this side, a tight shot from this side, and then 2 wider shots, one from each side, so I can use it for all the camera shots. And I usually just do. I typically don't have to redo takes. So, and that just comes from preparation and from the fact that I've uploaded 630 videos. I've done it a few times.
Not your first rodeo.
No. When I first started, I had to do a lot of takes.
It is hard. When I first started coming over and collaborating with you, it's so
not
funny.
Easy.
And it's totally different when you start doing it on a camera, because I would play it just fine.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, all right, ready? And I'd say, yep. And then I'd brick it. Just turn it.
When the record button goes on, it's a different deal.
It's like your function button goes off.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. So we had another couple questions. One was one was a question about kids ministry. Like, how do you get
youth worship?
Youth. How do you get youth worship to sing?
Well, to participate in worship.
Yeah.
And I think we both have quite a bit of experience doing that. And I would say two things, actually. One, from the stage, energy is huge. Yes. I mean, it's humongous. And I'm not saying it because kids are crazy. I'm just saying energy matters to students. And then two, you still have to know them.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about earlier.
Yes.
People matter. Get to know your congregation. Get to know those kids.
Especially kids, because
they smell a fake, man.
They know a fake, and I've found that students are very receptive to relationship.
Absolutely.
If an adult or a young adult takes interest in them as a person, they respond to that more so than adults do.
Way more than adults do.
And it's like it really does give them permission and freedom to engage and be fun. Here's a good question: any tips on leading in a small setting? Yeah, I have quite a few because I've led in a small setting quite a bit.
Same here. Why don't you go first?
So one is you have to tailor the arrangement of of the song to the setting. So I wouldn't use drums and 8 guitars and I wouldn't have 20 people on stage. And usually you can't in a small setting. Yeah. So it's important to sort of strip a song down to its elements and lead it in a way, and don't do 18 choruses. It's like you're in a smaller group. Maybe instead of singing the chorus six times in a song, sing it 3 times, and then take a moment in the middle of the song when you would be singing a chorus to talk to people and lead them. Yeah, because it's much more relational in that setting.
Yeah, I would. And small setting is subjective. It's to somebody who's led in an arena or in a worship center that seats 6,000, like I did when I was in college. I had the opportunity to do that in chapel and things like that. All of a sudden, 500 can feel small, but it's not. Yeah. But it's all relative. Right. But I have led, just the other night. Last Sunday night, I led at our young adults ministry, and they had just a small gathering, and I think there was only, maybe 25 people there. Yeah. 25 young adults there. And it was just me on an acoustic, and it was a worship night. And I decided, because I know that group, we're growing that group, because it's a smaller group and it was going to be more intimate, I decided to just let it be just that. Yeah. Let it be more intimate. It's not that you can't make it feel intimate with a full band. It's just, there's something to be said about just a guy up there just on a guitar, leading people, talking to them, singing some songs together. It just feels way more personal.
And we're gonna do that here in just a second, by the way.
Yeah.
We don't have these guitars just for props.
Yeah.
We're gonna actually sing something.
Actually, yeah. But I just and I was reminded about how valuable those times can be when you get to lead in a smaller setting and just you and a guitar. And I would say, don't be afraid of the fact that it's just you. Get comfortable with it being just you, and learn how to lead people when it's just you. You don't have to have the energy of 10 people on stage to lead a congregation. Right.
Well, here's the thing, and Bryce is a good person to talk about this because I'm gonna say some nice things about you, Bryce. Yikes. Bryce is really, really good leading by himself. And not to say that he's not as good leading in a group, but when Bryce leads worship, so when we have staff gatherings sometimes, Bryce has led us before just him and a guitar, and it's always really good. And it's because he understands, I think it's a lot of things. You understand how to play dynamically on your instrument, so it doesn't feel just like you turn the dial to 10 for 10 minutes, because that gets boring real fast. And vocally, and just the presence that he has when you lead. you can tell he worships when he's leading worship. And that is going to draw people in big time. But it has a lot to do with stage presence and what you do physically. But Bryce is really good at it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I will say this too. I try to have fun in moments like that.
And talk to people.
I think laughter is awesome.
And he's Bryce. And Bryce has just a pretty magnetic personality as it is. But he's himself.
Like two positives
you
that
draw
repel each
people
other.
to you, Bryce. He is himself on stage. And I will say that I've seen a lot of people lead worship, and it's like that I know. And when I see them on stage, they talk differently. Like their voice is different. Everything about them is different. You know what I mean? It's like they're a different person up there.
Here's a tip.
Don't do that.
Don't be Joel Houston. It's like you're from Texas. You're not Australian.
Yeah. But even just like the tone of their voice and the cadence with which they speak, I don't know what it is. I think people just think when you're on a platform in front of people that there's a certain way you have to speak. But I think the best way, when I speak to people on stage, it sounds like this. Yeah. This is how I talk to people from the stage.
Sounds like you're talking to Brian Wall.
Yeah. And so you have to be yourself. And you have to develop, you have to be comfortable being yourself on stage. Okay. I had another question that I thought was good. Do you ask people, do you direct people to stand and sing when you lead?
Absolutely. And if the moment fits.
I think, like when you call people to worship, and I think that brings up a good point. I always think about it this way. When it comes to church, because there are so many different kinds of churches, and hopefully you're attracting people who have maybe never come to church or came once a long time ago and got burned by somebody or something. You never know people's level of comfort in a church setting, and a lot of times people are not comfortable at all. So more information and over information is good. Yeah. And I think it's important, like, if you want people to stand, you better tell them. Yeah. You can't just assume they're going to do it.
And I will say this, so like, inviting people to stand and sing together is awesome. But there's also moments where, so if you're a worship leader in church, chances are you've probably played the song "The Stand," and there's a part in the chorus where it's, I'm totally out of the key, but it's like, so I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned. It's okay. Oh my goodness, here we go. So I'll stand, with arms high and heart abandoned.
Do this.
One who gave it all.
Don't say you're going to stand with your arms up.
Yeah, so I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned. Sometimes I will give this prop. I will say, if you're comfortable, raise our hands as we sing this together. Yep. And it leads itself in that way because it's not like you're just saying, I'll stand with arms high and heart abandoned, and that's it. The next part of the next lyric explains why. In awe of the one who gave it all. My soul, Lord, to you surrendered. All I have is yours. All I am is yours. So, so beyond standing and singing, sometimes like if the moment calls for it, I'll encourage people to take that next step of response and of engagement and lift their hands if they're comfortable. Yeah. Because Brian said that some people aren't comfortable in that scenario, and so I never want to say this is what's expected of you because I expect, whatever. I'm not here for them to give me something, so I have very minimal expectations for them. I just expect that God's going to meet them wherever they're at in worship. So yeah. Over communication is good.
Yeah, tell people what's going on because a lot of times people they don't know, and they're maybe they're there because they feel convicted or because their spouse made them come with them. Yeah. Or just it'll set people at ease. If you say, we're going to sing it, and it's simple. It's really easy. I've seen people way overcomplicate this. But all you have to do is say, hey, good morning. Welcome to New Hope Church. This is where we lead worship. Hey, good morning. We're so glad you're here with us at New Hope Church. Why don't you stand? We're going to sing a few songs together and worship God.
Yeah. Now, when we say over-communicate, I don't mean, hey, why don't you stand, and I'm going to play this D chord behind you. This is a D chord. It's not an F chord because F is hard play, but it's a D chord. So but just encourage people. Okay, there's more questions coming in, but Bryce and I are going to play a song. We're going to play a
So I just uploaded a cover yesterday of the song "Dare You to Move" by Switchfoot, and Bryce and I were playing it together, and it sounds awesome. So let's play it. Welcome to the planet. To existence. Everyone's here. Everyone's here. Everybody's watching you now. And everybody waits for you now. What happens next? Dare you to move. I dare you to move. I dare you to lift yourself up off the floor. I dare you to move. I dare you to move like the day you never happened. The day you never happened before. Hey, tell us how this sounds. Two guys playing guitar. Welcome to the fallout. Welcome to existence. Tension is here. Tension's right here. Between who you are and who you could be. Between how it is and how it should be. Yeah. I dare you to move. I dare you to move. I dare you to lift yourself up off the floor. I dare you to move. I dare you to move like today never happened. Today never happened. Well, maybe redemption's a story to tell. Maybe forgiveness is right where you fell. Where can you run to escape from yourself? Where you gonna go? Where you gonna go? Salvation is salvation is I dare you to move. I dare you to move. I dare you to lift yourself up off the floor. Dare you to move. Dare you to move like the day never happened. The day never happened. The day never happened. The day never happened before. What a awesome song. So the good people have said that it looks good. David Ventura suspects, rightly so, that we have tuned our guitars down 1/2 step. Bryce and I commented earlier that an acoustic guitar, especially a Martin Dreadnought acoustic guitar, it begs to be tuned down 1/2 step. They sound so good. And if you go drop D flat, it's just a tone cannon. But you gotta make sure your setup is right for it so you don't buzz.
Yeah. Tuned down guitars. If you want to hear amazing tuned down guitars, Joey Landreth.
Joey Landreth.
He tunes down to open C.
Oh, open C. Holy cow.
Yeah. His strings are like lead pipes.
Wow.
They're the biggest gauge strings I've ever heard of in my life. It's something insane.
Huh.
Like, yeah.
Crazy. Open C.
Yeah.
You got to have some heavy gauge strings for that.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Like, yeah. But anyhow.
Yeah. So we had a question about what is Super Chat. Super Chat is a thing that YouTube does. Like, if you have something that you really want to get our attention with, you can actually... I don't know how I feel about this, Bryce. You can actually pay a certain amount of money for your comment to, like, hang on the top for a certain amount of time.
Like pinning it in Twitter.
It's like a donate. Yeah, you can. It's like a way to donate. Have there been Super Chats? What do you call a Super Chat? Is that a Super Chat?
I've never heard of such a thing.
Have there been Super Chats in this video? I'm opening the Super Chat window and it's absolutely blank. So, if you're send us a Super Chat, which means they donated money toward the channel. 1, thank you so much. 2, I'm sorry I can't see it. Anyway, that song was "Dare You to Move" by Switchfoot. Came out in the year 2000. That song is 17 years old.
Yes,
Holy cow!
Still great.
Makes me feel old.
Still great.
Yeah. So Bryce and I can play a few more songs. You want to play a worship song?
Which one?
Do you guys want to hear us play a worship song? Thing is, the live stream is slightly delayed, so we just asked if you have a request, and we're not going to see if you have a request for a little bit. What's a song that we both know? What we've done recently? I always play "Great Are You, Lord" on these things every single time. So let's not do that. So I've done it. It's been done. And we can do "Good Good Father" because everyone knows that one.
Let's do. You want to do a little bit of like "Jesus We Love You" or something?
Yeah.
In
Capo what?
Capo. Let's go Capo
4.
4. We'll play it technically B flat.
So yeah, we would be in B flat.
Feels great.
You want to sing it?
Sure.
Oh yeah, we're 6/8.
See if I can remember all the words. Here we go. And old things have passed away, but your love has stayed the same. And your constant grace remains the cornerstone. And you lift our weary heads, and you make us strong instead. And you took these rags and made us beautiful. It's wrong lyrics. For all that you've done, we will pour out our love. This will be our anthem song. Jesus, we love you. Oh, how we love you. You are the one our hearts adore.
I never sing harmony. This is a Bethel song.
Hopeless I found there. Oh, the orphans now have a home. All that was lost has found its place in you. You lift our weary heads. You make us
We went to the turnarounds and the bridge at the same time, which was good. The solo.
That's important, yeah.
Yeah.
Messed up a couple lyrics in there, but great song. Love that song.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good. What we just did was a good point about the question asked earlier about leading in a smaller group.
Yep.
Vocal arrangements are really important. So, I'm not a harmony singer, but I struggle. I searched my way around and found one in the chorus there. Mm-hmm. So if you can find some like really great vocal arrangements and great harmonies, that will go a long way because it just makes it sound rich.
Yeah,
that's a good word for it, and it draws people in. I mean, people will like press in when they do that.
One thing I would also say to that point. So when I'm leading by myself, I'm a confident vocalist. I wouldn't say I'm the best, but
You're pretty good.
I'm a confident vocalist, but one of the things that has really served me well is learning when not to ad-lib.
Yeah.
And, it's just like feeling like you need to fill in space in a musical turnaround.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like between the chorus and the verse, there's usually a musical turnaround sometimes. I don't feel like I need to sing anything there.
Yeah.
Or like between excuse me. There's that Mexican food again. Between going from the chorus to the bridge. Sometimes there's a build up.
Well, we had that long instrumental section.
Yeah. And you just kind of let it breathe.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Leave space.
Let people contemplate what's happening in that moment. Yeah. That's a good point. All right, so hey, it's been about an hour. So one of my, I say this in every live video I do, which hasn't been many so far, but one beef that I have with live videos is like when they're, an hour and 45 minutes long.
Yeah.
And like there's some guys that I follow on YouTube and they go live quite often. And if I go to see a video they've posted that's a live video and it's like 2 hours long, that's an immediate no thanks. I don't have the time or the energy to invest waiting through 2 hours of content to see if there's something there that I want to see.
I will say, unless it's That Pedal Show by Dan and Mick.
Yes, that's
just, I genuinely find those guys hilarious.
So here's what we want to know. In the live chat now, but as you watch this video, because it's going to post and just be a video.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Did you like the format of episode 1 of the live show?
Yeah. We were a little rough around the edges, but we're getting there.
It'll get better. This is episode 1 of
live
very
is hard.
many.
Real quick, I do want to say to Michael Hernandez, any Mosaic MSC fans out there, yes. I really like their stuff. I think
is that a worship band?
Yeah, so Mosaic Church, Erwin McManus's church. His daughter is actually like the lead vocalist.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. I think their songs.
I've read some of his books.
They're very Hillsong Young and Free-ish esque, but doing their own thing for sure. Cool. And that music is amazing for student ministries, as well as some adult congregations. Just depends on your church, but amazing for student ministries. So yes, Mosaic MSC. Sorry, didn't mean to.
You're good.
I'm out now.
We have 1 minute before this thing's going.
Right. Let's wrap it up.
So yeah, if there's any other topics you want us to cover, so future live shows, we're just going to take a topic, we're going to discuss it a little bit, field some questions, sing some songs, maybe talk about what's coming up here at Worship Tutorials like we showed you that video, that it looked like it started playing like into the song. It didn't start at the beginning. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, let us know in the comments, and we just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's been fun. So my goal about these, my goal for these live deals is to have guests. I don't want to sit here and do this by myself. So maybe Bryce will be a semi-permanent.
I am about to move a little bit further this direction.
A little closer to me.
Just a little bit. I'm crazy.
Trying. So Fuller lives like 4 houses down from me. I'm trying to get all my friends to move into the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a commune. We're gonna start our own like farm.
Yes.
Make our own food and clothes.
No, I'm not going to sew my own clothes. I'm sorry.
Well, I'll sew your own clothes.
Okay, perfect. But so we're gonna have more live broadcasts. It's gonna be 4:00 on Friday Eastern Time every week. I hope you will join us next week, and sometime during the week I'll probably announce what the topic's gonna be. What do you think we should talk about next week? We're gonna pick something.
I think a better question is what do they think we should talk about?
What do you think we should talk about?
But I think something fun to talk about might be. So today we talked a lot about like common practices. Yeah. I would say maybe something not just because I'm like really into gear. I think maybe something gear related. Yeah. Like here's a good one. Here's a question I always like to try and answer for people, because sometimes you get a new volunteer and their tone doesn't quite fit with the sound you're going for. So we can talk about sound and tone and shaping the sound of your team and how to do that.
For electric guitar players, I can sum it up in one statement.
No, you can't.
Buy a Helix and
I knew you were gonna say
download
that.
worship tutorials patches and get your guitar players to use them.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam Gone, is that right? Saw you at Insight, and he says Brian was on vacation in Mexico. You're absolutely right. I was.
Mexico.
I was in Mexico. Riviera Maya.
For what it's
wonderful
worth.
time.
Yeah, he was sending a lot of pictures, and we were all very jealous.
Had
For what
a
it's worth,
margarita
I
in hand
spell my name with a Y. But,
well, Sam doesn't know.
I know, it's okay. Well, now he knows. The more you know, the more you know.
Okay.
People talk, you hear things.
Yes. All right. Hey, it's been fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm trying to perfect the classy exit of a live stream so you don't say sign off and then there's 15 seconds of us talking, trying to push buttons.
Or like sign off and think you've like, all right, the live chat's over, stand up, we're both in our underwear.
I think I showed earlier that I'm not. Jury's out.
Jury's out. Well, no, the jury's not out. The jury is.
They can see. Look, Bryce, they can see our pants.
I know.
There's yours, there's mine. All right, this got awkward.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end it now while we're going to
Well, we still have a shred of our dignity.
All right, see you next
See
week.
you guys.